I think we about beat this horse to death, and I could sit in this well and talk about that there's at least 44 House members here that are uncomfortable with the way we're proceeding as we wrap up this year, but I won't talk about that when the Hawk Amendment was defeated. I could talk about how there is an alternative budget out there that agrees with the minority leader in the Senate, which does not require a tax increase to fund education, but I'm not going to talk about that. Mr. Speaker, I just want to move the order of the day.
Well, that's fine. The order of the day is we're just, Chairman, the majority leader has the bill, and he's not called it off the desk, and I have a list of about 10 more people, and I think they'll feel slighted if they don't get to speak because they've been listening to everybody else. Representative Crider.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I always wonder why we don't debate things and people move things to the table and they call for questions so fast, and you work your guts out to get up here, and doggone, man, you can't ever talk on a bill. By the time somebody said something sensational or offensive, like you're in the pocket of big tobacco and you raise your hand, well, heck, 20 people talk before you get a chance to say something back about how ridiculous that is. So if we're just going to start talking, I saw a fellow a while ago grab a phone book to read from it, so if we're going to do that, I'll do it too. Heck, I work hard to get up here. I think if you asked, if I was to ask the sponsor of the tax increase, the 40-cent tax increase, if it was important to education, did you just have to have it for the health care governor, now the education governor, to have his new education plan? Would you have to have the 40-cent tax increase to make it work? He would say, absolutely. Got to have it. Pivotal. And he would say yes to that. Said another way, the way I would say it is, are you telling me that we're hanging the hopes and the future of education around the necks of the smoker? And he might agree to that. That's what we're doing. And then I would say, well, then why in the world did we just ban smoking this morning? Somebody's lying to old Chris. Somebody's fibbing to somebody. The future of education, and then we ban smoking across the state. Well, anyway, that doesn't add up. That's not even logical. So I will ask a question. I'm sure somebody's going to stand up and say something unbelievably disrespectful. So let me give you that opportunity. My question is, if I have to vote for $250 million tax increase, let me let that rest on your mind a minute. $250 million tax increase when we have a $1.5 billion surplus. Some will say 750. I'll let you say $750 million. I don't care. If I'm going to have to vote for that because of the hopes of education hang on that, then where is the governor's or your comprehensive plan to encourage smoking? Thank you.
Representative Crider, by coincidence, the chairman of the Finance, Ways and Means Committee is right behind you, and maybe he can respond to some of your questions. Chairman fits you in the well if you'd like to be.
Well, I'm fine here, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I didn't really want to respond to those, but
Well, you don't have to.
The fact of the matter is that we have an opportunity here with the convergence of a new day in Tennessee concerning cigarettes, smoking, and the detriments there that allow this body to come close to passing a user fee, a tax if you will, to along with an unexpected budget year to begin a new era in Tennessee education with the BEP 2.0 and the ability to not only ensure that that education plan, which we've voted on and we've passed today, will be successful to begin its success this year, but will continue at least until we can fully fund it in 2 or 3 years out. And that is the opportunity that we've been given here today that's different from before. The accountability bill, I think, was so important today, and frankly, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, as I sat here, I felt more and more responsible for this, which I don't enjoy. It's not fun to see us normally friends and normally taking the high road to say some of the things we've said. However, I had that accountability bill. I didn't want the bill. I happened to have a caption big enough to carry it. I've spent about 10 hours, solid hours in the last 2 days learning a lot about education and accountability. It's different from my world in the business. It's different from other things, but there are things we can do better. And some people in the back of this room and in this room, work long and hard to try to get some things that we can move this state forward. Not just throw money, whether it be cigarette tax or whatever, at education, but make it stick and see some improvements. I was proud of that bill. I've been here 13 years, and I have never had the occasion to move to table an amendment. I did a poor job today. I should have done a better job. I have a proposal, and it had nothing to do with the accountability bill. That is part of the representative from Greene County's proposal. My particular proposal, and I still think it's a good one, was to set up a 0% interest-free loan fund so schools could come in and borrow that money and pay it back with no interest to allow it to continue on so that they can put capital construction on there. I happen to think that was a good idea. I put my idea out in the form of a bill that was submitted to the Education Committee, and the Education Committee looked at my bill along with the representative from Greene, along with the other representatives that have been mentioned, and they, under the committee system, the system that I live with, and I'm proud to be for a little while anyway, a chairman of one of those committees, and my bill didn't fare so well. I didn't like it. I thought, well, they don't know what they're talking about. They ought to do, but I did not append to an accountability bill my bill that had nothing to do with education accountability, that had to do with spending reserves. But another member felt just as strong, and he had the opportunity to put that amendment on. But that, in my opinion, and I should have made it clearer today, was not the appropriate venue, not the appropriate avenue, not the appropriate vehicle to do it at that point in time. He had his opportunity just as I did, and it went because the Education Committee said, let's look at it and make sure we're going to do with this $100 to $150 million, which we won't get again, ladies and gentlemen. It is reserve. It won't happen again. The lottery is maturing. We're not making that kind of money now. We, on the other hand, are changing the lottery requirements. We're upping the lot. We're going to need some of that reserve. We want to make sure we do what's right with it. So I should have told this body, I should have been much more plain, much more insistent that even though I got a good idea, and so does the representative from Greene, this was not the appropriate time to do that. And I failed my caucus by not letting them know. Once we had a chance to explain it, I believe that's the reason some of those votes came about. It was not because of a partisan situation, but it was because this sponsor failed to adequately inform and adequately take care of a motion to table. So you won't see me doing that anymore. But I do want to apologize to this body because I had a lot to do with this confusion we're in now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.